Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Red Sky Pods and the pre-match live show for the Arsenal versus Liverpool game. How is everyone?
No.
All good, all good.
Welcome back, guys. So, welcome to Laurie, who's joined us today to represent Arsenal. So, how are we, Laurie?
Yeah, I'm good. Enjoying the spring weather.
So, because there's four of us, Laurie, I thought we wouldn't give us the opportunity to gang up on you. So, what we'll do is we'll have a quick chat with you about the game today. What you're expecting from Arsenal. Are the teams out yet? Dave, have you got the teams there before Laurie jumps in?
Yeah, we have. We'll start with. We'll be kind to Laurie, and we'll start with Arsenal.
Well, we are the home team, so we should be starting with Arsenal.
Yeah, that's right, mate. So Leno in goal. According to this, they're lining up 4-2-3-1. It's quite an attacking lineup. Chambers at right back, who was really good in that last game before the international break. Holding Gabriel at centre halves, Tierney at left back, Partey and Ceballos as a midfield two, and then Pepe, Odegaard, and Aubameyang supporting Lacazette at the top of the pitch.
So before we do Liverpool, Dave, let's touch base with Laurie. Was that what you expected to see, Laurie? And what are you expecting in terms of a game plan?
I think from judging from that lineup, we're gonna try and get at the. We're definitely gonna try and get at the centre backs in this game. It's a game where we're definitely not gonna win it in the middle with. Ceballos doesn't bring me a lot of confidence in terms of being in the team. I'm glad that we're not gonna make his loan move permanent. Not gonna lie there. Partey, we haven't seen the best of him yet, but he's had a little bit of time to rest up over the international break. I know he played 1 or 2 games for Ghana, and I think they qualified for whatever tournament they were playing to qualify for. So hopefully we'll get the best of him today, and he'll hopefully have his shooting boots on. I mean, I don't really go by what I see in training videos, but I know he was practicing on his shooting there, so we'll see what happens there. Defense wise, it's always a win when Bellerin's not playing. So that's a bit of a bonus for us there. However, to counteract that, we've got Holding in the team who he's done okay, but I don't know. I know Luiz isn't fit, so this was a game where it was either risk playing 2 left-footed centre backs and see how that works out for us, or bring in Holding, who, like I said, he's been very average, so hopefully he'll have a decent game. Gabriel's been probably our best defender. Gabriel and Luiz has been our best partnership, but as I said earlier, Luiz isn't available. Tierney, we all know what Tierney does, so it's one of these games where he will get the ball into the box a lot. Whether someone's there to meet it is going to be another question. And again, it's going to bring out the battle of who's the better left back, Tierney, Robertson. We know that debate's going to be happening throughout the whole game. And then moving to the forwards, Aubameyang, hopefully he's got his shooting boots on today. He hasn't played that great. He hasn't had the greatest of seasons. I mean, Lacazette who's our Firmino in terms of what he does with the ball.
Yeah.
If they can link up together, because I was literally talking to my dad, who's an Arsenal fan, just before came on the stream as well, and he was saying that he'd like to see both of them up top supporting each other. So hopefully that happens. And then we know what Odegaard's starting to hit some form with us. Thankfully, he's fit. And Pepe, this will be a game where Pepe definitely can get at you. So I'm quietly confident that it's going to be 2-1 either way, but it's not with that lineup, bar, as I said, Ceballos and Holding and possibly Chambers, because we haven't seen a lot of Chambers yet. I do think we have got a chance of beating you. This depends on what Arsenal turns up, and in terms of your lineup, who you lot have got playing as well.
Well, that's a really good lead. You've done this before, haven't you? So that's a really good opportunity for me to come to Dave and say, Dave, can you go through the Liverpool team, please, pal?
Yeah, I don't know whether you want the Arsenal bench before we go.
No, just run into the Liverpool one,
straight
mate,
into the team. No worries. So, yeah, no worries. Alisson in goal. No surprises. Alexander-Arnold, Nat Phillips, Kabak, and Robertson. Midfield 3, Thiago, Fabinho, and Milner. And then the tried and trusted front 3, Salah, Firmino, and Mane.
Dave Kong, what do you think of that midfield from Liverpool's point of view?
I'm quite happy with that, to be honest with you, pal. Obviously, we've got to have Fabinho in, and we've got to have Thiago in. And I think, Jimmy Milner will be covering all the ground in the midfield, and hopefully he'll be pushing the ball to Thiago, or, it might be a little bit of a Milner and Thiago pivot, taking turns, because they can both shoot. Obviously, putting the ball through for our front 3.
And Jay, the front 3, obviously no Jota. Not surprising given his international exploits. I'll come to you on the front 3, and then I'm going to ask Laurie a question regarding our front 3. So, Jay, your thoughts on the front 3, please, mate?
I'm disappointed not to see Jota start in this game. I appreciate he's played quite a bit of football in the international break, but he's in a rich vein of form. I really, really feel like the momentum was with him. I would have liked to have seen Firmino come off the bench, but we also know his scoring record against Arsenal was impeccable. So it's a team which he does like to play against. But at the moment, I really think Jota's the man in form. Obviously, we know what Salah's going to bring, and we obviously know what Mane's going to bring. So it's our tried and tested front 3. I have every faith, but it's just disappointing not to see Jota lining up in that and staking his claim for his starting position after his exploits on the international break.
Yeah, I agree. So Laurie, as an Arsenal fan, would you rather face an informed Diogo Jota or a constant thorn in the Arsenal side, Roberto Firmino? Because Roberto Firmino's got a very good goal-scoring record against Arsenal. So, having heard the Liverpool team, what's your thoughts on that?
In all honesty, that sort of brings me a bit more confidence in terms of, whilst yes, your midfield is more experienced than us, because we've got that pace within the team. Hopefully, we can sort of get at you with the pace, and you lot will get leggy sooner than we will in terms of the midfield. Like I said, I know they've got the experience there, but for me, that's where we can get at you. And definitely the centre back pairing. I don't know. Have they played together before, Phillips and Kabak?
They've got three clean sheets in a row, mate, and 3 wins.
Oh,
so
okay.
they've got a partnership, mate.
So you've got something going on there, but
so they have had a go,
I know Kabak did have quite quite a good international break as well. He did look all right during the international break, but I've got a feeling that we can do it today. It's a lineup that doesn't concern me as much as I thought it would. Had Hendo been in there, and Wijnaldum, I would have been a bit more worried. But as I said, because it's quite, and even though it's an experienced midfield, because it's quite an aged midfield, I think that does give us a bit of a chance, certainly, to come away with something. If not a point, then all 3.
I'll tell you what I think he's done, and I'm going to come to you, Dave Powers, to see if you agree. I think he's gone with the midfield 3 because he's going to protect Trent with Milner. I think he's going to sit Milner in front of Trent in the same way that Henderson did. I can see why he's done that. Would you agree? Do you think that's potentially what Klopp's looking to do?
Yeah, I think Milner's had 2 weeks training. The other guys, basically everybody else who could have played and is playing, has been on international break, haven't they? So yeah, I understand why he's doing that. Yeah, I would expect Milner to probably sit a little bit more. I think you're right. I wouldn't be surprised he plays on the right hand side of that 3, and Thiago's given a little bit more license to push on and link up with Mane and Robertson down the left hand side.
Jay, just coming to you, do you think because of the midfield three, because Thiago's in there, and we've spoken collectively, and you and I have spoken sort of a one-on-one basis, that Thiago's not the man to be recycling the ball in the same way that Ronaldo would do, because that's not the best use of his attributes. Do you think that that's a double pivot with Thiago slightly in front today? Jay?
Yeah, totally. I think that they're going to want Thiago. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so I think they're going to want Thiago to dictate the pace of the game. As Laurie said, the midfield that Arsenal are going to put out are going to want a lot of the ball. I think Milner and Fabinho are going to be tasked to basically getting the ball off Arsenal as quickly as possible, recovering possession. Like you said, protecting Trent, allowing him to get forward and push their fullbacks back. And that will then give Thiago the opportunity to play in those pockets where he likes to cut teams apart. We really need to get him as close to that front three as possible in order to play through their defensive lines. Arsenal are going to sit very deep. They're going to be very compact because they're not going to want us to get in behind them. So Thiago is, as we spoke before, Steve, is a tool to kind of unlock that kind of setup. And I think he's going to be able to do that today. Certainly, if he sees enough of the ball. And like Laurie said, the midfield battle is going to be absolutely crucial. Do I think that we're going to be able to outrun the Arsenal midfield? I don't think so. But I do think that once we get the ball, if we can hold on to the ball and dominate the ball for large spells and basically drag Arsenal from left to right, that's going to unsettle the shape and allow us to get in behind.
I agree, mate. I think the Thiago positioning today is going to be very interesting. Laurie, just coming back to you, obviously Martin Odegaard's in very good form, or was prior to the international break, and they've been quite pivotal in Arsenal's recent results. How does he cope coming up against Fabinho, who many believe is one of, if not the best central defensive midfielder in the world? That's a different proposition to your recent games. Are you interested to see that battle?
It will be a very interesting battle because what you've got to take into account with Fabinho is for me he's still readjusting to being back in the midfield as well for yourselves, because obviously he spent a lot of time this season playing at the back. So although he's versatile and can play both roles, I don't know if that will take his toll on him, in the sense that because he hasn't played in midfield as much, his positioning is not going to be up to his usual self. So maybe Odegaard can get him in that sense. But as we know, Odegaard has been creating a lot of chances and he's not afraid to shoot as well. But again, he's out of the link up in the mid of that front four. He's someone that, although he can pick the passes, he hasn't exactly got the pace. So he'll have to be very clever when he is on the ball and not try to dwell on it too much and look for them key passes and pockets like the same way Thiago would for yourselves. They'll be playing quite similar roles in terms of how they're going to provide the ball for the front lines in today's game, I think.
I think you're quite right. I think both Odegaard and Thiago have got the tools in the locker to create some chances. I think there'll be lots of opportunities today. Dave Kong, Liverpool, Arsenal, Liverpool, every way you look at it, is a fixture steeped in history and pedigree. Both sides have won many trophies between them. Do we think our current league positions today are going to reflect the game, or do you think it will be a typical Liverpool Arsenal fixture?
I would go for the typical one, to be honest with you. I think if they're going to try and take us on playing football, I think the way Liverpool have been playing before we stopped for the break, I think if Arsenal try and take us on and play football, then I think they're going to be like lambs to the slaughter, because the players that we've got there are going to be picking them passes. And I think it could be a cricket score if they're not if they try and play football today, we're going to run riot.
I do love your enthusiasm and your faith, mate. Fantastic. Don't ever change.
Not a chance.
So, Dave Powell, you said before you think Arsenal might sit in a little bit, given the lineup that they've got. at home against Liverpool in a fixture that ideally they need 3 points because Arsenal have got to get a bit of momentum and some results somewhere to try and press for at least top 6. That's got to be their target now, given the season that they've had. Do you genuinely think Arsenal sitting at home against Liverpool?
I think I'm just looking at their team. I was thinking about it now while everyone else was talking, and Tierney's a really good player. I like Tierney, really good. Chambers, I watched that last game, and as I said earlier on when I named the teams, I think he had a really good game that last game before the international break. I think he got man of the match. Unusually from what I've seen previously, unusually good going forward. I think if he gets forward as much as that today, he gives his team a problem. And I know that sounds a bit stupid because if he's sensible, he's only going forward when they've got good possession and they're setting the game. But if he gets forward that much, you always run the risk. Mane's getting in behind you. Same with Salah. I think both fullback position, both teams' fullbacks, and the players that are up against them, they're the key areas for me today. Key areas.
I would agree.
So
coming to our Arsenal fan. Sorry, mate. Just jump on to Laurie.
That's it. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for that, Dave. So listening to Dave there, Laurie, how do you feel about the potential for Arsenal to sit in at home and obviously play with a cautious element regarding the explosive nature, particularly at the moment, Mo Salah? Do you think Arsenal sit in for periods, or do you think they come out and be expansive today?
Being a home fixture, although that hasn't really made a lot of difference to both clubs respectively during the pandemic, we will at some stages attack and go for the game. But I think it is one of these games where you have to be at your best in terms of Salah and Mane have to be at their best. Likewise with Aubameyang and Lacazette, because if they don't come up firing and missing opportunities, then it's going to be a very frustrating game for both teams. However, with that being said, Lacazette, as I said, has been linking up well with Smith Rowe, Odegaard, and Saka. However, obviously, he hasn't got two of them today, but we know what Pepe's capable of, and Pepe's starting to find some form now towards the back end of the season, so he'll be pivotal there. But what does worry me is, as I said, Chambers hasn't really played a lot this season, and we know that Tierney will have a good matchup. But like you said, if Chambers goes forward too much, then we're definitely going to get punished there. And it is a place, like you said, the game could be won in the fullback positions. But for me, it's still the midfield. I think the midfield is where the key battle is going to be.
Excellent. All right, thanks for that. So Jay, Bobby Firmino, much written, much said about his form across the season. I personally felt when Jota took his place off him prior to Jota being injured, when Bobby got opportunities to play, he raised his game, and that's when we saw better performances, the Spurs game in particular. Do you think today he goes into the game knowing that he can't afford a poor performance to just to be average? He's really got to fight for his place. Do you think that has an impact on his mindset going into the game today?
Yeah, totally. I think, I've said this on many occasions, the drop in form for Liverpool coincided more with the Jota injury than any other injury that we've had this season. Obviously, we talk about the importance of Van Dijk to the team, but Jota was keeping the rest of those boys on their toes, and they needed that added competition for places. Firmino came out of the team for a while, but when he came back in, he did raise his game. I think today is going to be the acid test. This is going to be the real one to see, is Firmino back in the shape which we need him to be in for this crucial run-in. He's had 2 weeks rest. He's not played any international fixtures as far as I'm aware, because obviously he was coming off the back of an injury, so he should be super fresh. And again, Arsenal is a happy hunting ground for him. Think about some of the goals that he scored against Arsenal. I seem to remember a goal, I think we're wearing the orange kit, with a top corner against Petr Cech with minimal backlift. I also remember one where he skipped through back four and hit it past it. So he knows how to do the business against Arsenal. It's a team he likes playing against. It's going to be crucial. Chelsea dropped points, so this top four run-in has now heated up. It's now time to make it count. So Bobby's got to step up.
Okay, perfect. Laurie, is a comment for you from one of our lads who's normally on here. Does Laurie think Arsenal could still get top four, especially if they win today? Especially if you get a result today?
Nah, it's too much of a stretch. It's too much of a stretch. I mean, the squad that we've had, in all honesty, I'm one of the supporters that predicted, more or less, banter aside, that we would come between 8th and 10th. I didn't see us getting any higher than that. Top 6 would definitely be a bonus if we did get there, and the Europa League if we was to win that as well. But we haven't got enough in our tank, and to be relying on youngsters the way we are warrants the position that we're in. So I would love us to win today and climb up the table, but there's too much ground to make up. Also, there's teams around us that haven't played all their games in hand. I know they say never discount, always not to discount them as well. So there's a lot of factors in place that, long story short, would prevent us from getting in the top four. It would be nice, but it's too much work to get there, in my opinion.
So a very honest appraisal, Laurie, and I tend to agree. I think it's probably almost bordering too much for us as well. I think we've other results, we would be relying massively on other teams pinching points of other teams, and that becomes an uncontrollable, and that's not a nice place to be. Dave Kong, have a look at this comment. Someone's popped it here. Here it is. So this guy dropped a comment in: Van Dijk and we win the league. Is it as simple as that? The loss of Virgil van Dijk, is that the reason why we're not challenging for the league? One player.
Yeah. Pure and simple, because he orchestrates everything in our play from the back. He pings it about left and right, over the top into the middle, over the top into the flanks, and then it's affected our play and our balance in so many different ways, as well as organising. He's not just a centre half; he's a playmaking centre half as well.
I completely agree. I think that the Jota injury, as Jay says, and then for me losing Gomez was pivotal, because Gomez had stepped across into Van Dijk's position and was sort of the custodian of the back four. And when we lost him, you're asking a man made of quavers in Matip to hold it all together, mate. It really wasn't going to work, was it? So, question for the Liverpool fans in the room. I'll start with you, Dave. Pal, what's more likely, Champions League win or top four?
The former.
Champions League win.
Yeah.
Similar scenario for you, Laurie. Europa Cup win, Europa League win, apologies, or top six. What would you rather do?
Europa.
Purely because of the Champions League entry, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice after a 4-year absence to be back there.
Do you think you can win the Europa League?
There's every possibility. There is every possibility that we can win it, yes.
I agree. I actually think you can win it. I completely agree. Jay, top four or Champions League?
Both.
You are one demanding man, you know that. Do you think they're realistic to do both? Come on. Don't sit on the fence. One or the other. Which do you think it's going to be?
Yeah, no, it is definitely realistic. I mean, Chelsea dropping points today is big. That's a big shoe in there. Chelsea still have to play United, City, and Leicester. I think, or was it City Leicester? They've still got to play. So they've got some big fixtures in there. There's a little mini league going on with that top six at the moment. So if we win today, that puts Chelsea under massive pressure. My brother's a Chelsea fan, and he's been talking about today all over his Twitter. Is that the end of the new manager bounce? Are we now seeing those players slip back into their old habits and their old ways? He did not want the international break to come at the point that it did because Chelsea were on a roll. We all know with international breaks, they can be make or break for teams. And I really, really think we could see this as a breaking point for Chelsea. And we're going to have to see what Thomas Tuchel is really made of. From a Liverpool perspective, why can't we go on and win the Champions League? Every year we've won it, 2005 we won it. We were total underdogs. Yeah, the final we made 2 seasons after that, again we were underdogs. Going into the final in Madrid against Real Madrid, we were underdogs. Yeah, we then obviously had the better of it when we went into the final the second year after that and won it against Spurs. But Liverpool are a club which know how to win the Champions League. It's not just the 11 on the pitch. It's the club from the feet upwards. So this year it's ours.
Tell you what, sitting next to Dave Kong on my screens, mate, some of that faith and that ambition's rubbing off on you, isn't it? So Dave Kong, what's your thoughts, mate? Is it going to be top 4 or even in the same camp as Jay saying, actually, guys, we can do both? What's your thoughts? Dave Kong?
Sorry.
Top 4 or Champions League? Which one?
Champions League. We're going back to Istanbul and we're going to run riots. I don't care who we play in the final. It's ours.
Tell you what, Laurie, it'd be nice to have a Super Cup, wouldn't it? Liverpool versus Arsenal. That would be the thing.
Oh, it would be nice. Yeah, that'd definitely be nice.
So before we close, guys, I'll just get your predictions for today. If you don't want to give a score, because I don't, I think it'll be a very close game. I think there'll be the odd goal. I think there'll be chances. I think it'll come down to winning battles across key battles on the pitch. So I won't lie, not including Gini is a concern for me, purely because of the ground he covers and the fitness that he has. And when did you last see him give the ball away? His ball retention's insane. So there's a concern for me not having him in the team today. So Laurie, what's your thoughts? Who's gonna nick it? Is it going to be a close game? Is it going to be Arsenal? Obviously.
Yeah, I have to back my team. That's what you do, innit? 2-1 to ourselves. Although now that I've seen the bench, we haven't got much on the bench that can change things, but hopefully we can push on and win this 2-1, in my opinion.
Excellent. Did you see that, Dave Cole? Ian says Dave will think we can get top 4, win the Champions League and the Euros.
Team in the Eurovision Song Contest.
That's too, mate. And the boat race. Jay, thoughts on today, mate? Confident predictions? What are we going with?
I could be a total go all the way and think 3-1. But I'm going to be more modest and say 2-1 Liverpool. I think we take the lead, Arsenal equalise, and then Jota comes off the bench and grabs the winner. I'm going 2-1 Liverpool.
Okay, Dave Powell, we'll come to you.
Win. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say score, Steve. I'm the same as you, mate. But I think we'll win. But I also have reservations about Wijnaldum not playing. Same as you. I'm not just copying you, mate. What did you have for dinner? It's
They planned it.
I'm a bit concerned about that, but I do also understand why he's not playing Gini. So I think if Mane turns up and we can get the ball to him in good areas, then it could be fairly comfortable.
Okay. So I always think you should finish anything like this on a mega positive note, and that's the reason why I left Dave Cole to last. So, Dave Cole, give me the wisdom, pal. Where are you at with this?
Obviously, we're going to miss Ginny. Hopefully we don't. It'll either be close, 2-1 for Liverpool, But if they start trying to take us on playing football, it's going to be a cricket score.
I knew you
No
wouldn't
mucking about. Yeah. If they try and take us on playing football, trying to be smart and clever, Chinny will have a field day. And hopefully, as Paoli just said then, Mane's been a little bit quiet lately. He's due for a couple of goals. Him and Firmino. If they gel today and they try and play football, Arsenal, then we'll take them apart.
I wish I could have a pint or whatever it is you're having, mate, because I do not have that confidence. This is a tough game. This is an Arsenal side scrapping for something rather than nothing out of their league campaign, and I think they'll show us that today. So I think there'll be a few hairy moments for Liverpool today, but hopefully we can pinch it. I think it'll be a close game. I don't think league form has anything to do with today. These are two sides that are steeped in English football heritage. And the last thing that'll be on their mind in that 90 minutes is where they are in the league table. I think this will be quite a good open game of football, to be fair. So before we leave, I'd like to just bring your attention to the ticker that's running along the bottom of the screen at the moment. We have a sponsor for the month of April called the 12th Man. Currently, they'll do you a deal. If you go onto their website, type in Red Sky 15 in capitals, you get 15% off your order. Throughout the remainder of the month, we're going to get further discount codes, and then towards the end of the month, we're going to do a giveaway. Anything off their site will be given away to a competition winner. So, good opportunity to save some cash there. Are all you guys okay for a show at the end of the match?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, all that remains for me to do is to say to three of you, go and enjoy the game. And Laurie, with all due respect, mate, I really hope you don't. All right, guys, take care. Enjoy the match. We'll see you at the end.
Yep.
All right.
See you,
boys.
All right, cool.
Cheers.
Nice one.
Cheers.